Hello, good morning, and by good morning I mean it is 5 p.m. here in Hell's Kitchen. Who do I have here? What is your drag name?
Hi, my name is Boxa Crayonz.
And what are your pronouns in and out of drag?
My pronouns in drag are he, she, they, and my pronouns out of drag are he, him, they, them.
How'd you get your drag name?
I got my drag name because I am an art teacher by day and also studying to be an art teacher in high school. And also I just love drawing, so Boxa Crayonz.
What's your current age and how long have you been doing drag?
I am 24 and I've been doing drag for about a year and a half.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Connecticut.
Astrological signs?
Aquarius. Rising, I always forget these. Wait, I got Gemini moon.
Oh, look.
You said rough. And that's about all I remember.
And who's inspired you most in your drag career?
Who has inspired me most? Well, I definitely had the most exposure to when I watched Drag Race, and one season that really resonated with me was Bob the Drag Queen season 8. Just such an incredible performer and so unapologetically themselves.
And so warm. Just
Very
like
warm.
I want to talk to them. You know what I mean?
Fully.
What's your current obsession?
My current obsession is watching, I love like 10-15 minute like horror crime stories on YouTube. Like I'll just pop one in right before the gig and just like
Just on the way
get in it.
just something to get in the mood. Just
Yeah,
like, how did she get murdered?
Yeah, like I'll either murder the stage or it will be a crime scene after the show.
What's your favorite color of crayon?
I love cerulean. It's like a blue, but it's a really like oceany turquoise blue. Plus I love the
A little greenish of a blue.
It's a little greenish of a blue, yeah.
How do you feel about the crayons versus crowns pronunciation controversy?
Yes. Very controversial. I've always been I'm supportive of crayons or crayons, but I will say I do find myself interchanging crayon and crayon. Like especially I'll even ask for like a vodka crayon sometimes. It happens. But that'll be my drag dog for sure.
What's the most embarrassing childhood story that gets told about you?
That gets told about? Oh, I fully know. It was my cousin's 16th birthday, and they rented out a like Marriott hotel room because we felt like we were living it up. And I loved Sonic the Hedgehog so much, and I had this stuffed animal. They had a wedding for me and this Sonic the Hedgehog stuffed animal, and that's probably the most heterosexual thing I've ever done in my life.
What current trend do you think is overrated? Could be in drag, could be in fashion, could be in anything.
Sure. That's hard. Current trend that's very overrated.
We love the truck.
Yeah.
New York Waterway, baby.
Yes.
The civilized commute.
I was like, is that the same water we drink from? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. I think just like general, like some of the TikTok dance trends, like I really am over because just like I love that people are celebrating dance and like pitching in, but like I when I teach and I have students doing these dances and they're like I worry about them. They're like, I'm like, you good? That's like. What? Like, what is this?
What's that movement?
I don't get it, but that's
Did you go to college?
I'm actually currently in college. Currently in college. I went to a school called Amanda.
That's what I thought. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was like, I think they went to Amanda. I can't remember.
One of the biggest manufacturers of drag artists.
Amanda. It's Drag University, baby.
Drag U, fully.
Yeah, totally.
But I'm currently at City College studying to get my full degree so I can teach outside of New York.
Amazing. Have you ever had like an aha moment when that's like changed your perception of life?
Oh, perception of life. I would say, I think and it was a perception of like both my like career, myself. I think when I was in the 7th grade and I had this moment where I was auditioning to be in The Little Mermaid. And they actually relevant. So yeah, coming to theaters. I'm not in that one though. I was offered, like, I was told to come and read for the chef and perform for the chef. And it was such like a, not only did I get the role, but it was like I was seen as like an artist and like for my talent, and also like in terms of like gender identity as well. I was like, oh,
like,
wait a second.
Oh, wait. I can do this?
I said,
Totally.
not binary who? What? How? What is that?
Totally. What's your love language?
Love language, I would say love language is definitely physical touch. I definitely need that for reassurance because I also like am very sensitive about who I allow physical touch with.
Yeah.
I'm very like...
So it's a huge deal when you let it happen.
For sure.
Yeah. How do you fit under the queer umbrella?
I identify as a trans man. I would say like non-binary trans mask because I still feel like I'm not like fully one side, but I am transitioning, and then I'm also identify sexually as pansexual. So yeah.
What's your most used app on your telephone?
Oh, for sure, Spotify. That's like always running, or YouTube probably.
When's the last time you lied?
Probably yesterday, and it was for work because I'm like,
oh, that doesn't count.
It's for my job. I'm like, probably was like, they were like, why were you late? And I was like, I don't know,
Trains,
man.
They get you every time.
As if after how many years in New York, I don't know that the weekend trains are always slow.
As if you didn't wake up 10 minutes before your shift started.
Yeah,
Totally agree. When would you die in a horror movie?
When? Oh, for sure, I would either be, I definitely see myself as like final, or like people thought I died, but I came back and I'm like the surprise.
Oh, like at a Scream, like last minute, like, hey,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Totally,
I'm like, I've watched too many to die early. Yeah, for sure.
What's your favorite word?
Favorite word?
Or most used word right now?
I would say, like, unironically, like, if I just don't know how to, like, validate a sentence, I'll be like, work. Cool. Like, I'm just work.
Do you speak any other languages?
I'm, like, intermediate Spanish, and I love to learn languages, but I forget them after, like...
It's tough. And you have to really, like, immerse yourself in the culture to be able to even process what's happening.
Completely.
What language do you wish you could speak?
Oh, I really wish I could speak either German, I would say, just because I have a lot of family friends from Germany, and I definitely feel like that's always been like a boundary of just like I have to wait for my friend to translate for me, and I'm
Totally.
like, I want to be closer to you guys.
What's the worst haircut you've ever had? Any bowl cuts?
Probably one that I gave myself, actually. Oh, I know.
Always.
It was right before Pride season, and I just like knew I just needed to get like I was gonna be in drag almost every day. Needed my hair gone, so I literally like put my hair in a troll doll and then just buzzed everything around it.
That's literally what I do every day.
Yeah.
It's literally. No, that's what I do now. Are you reading me? Is this a read?
No.
No?
I'm probably gonna do this in about 2 weeks. So yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So, what is the best haircut you've ever had?
Best haircut?
Any favorite haircut or hair dye or anything like that?
Oh, definitely. I miss my purple era. I used to have. I did like a lavender, like grayish purple kind of moment for a while, and then I did like an eggplant purple for some time. But you know, corporate world said we can't have colored hair, so.
You're in a band called 69 Degrees.
Oh yeah.
And we're doing a Pride series titled 69 Questions. What does this number 69 mean to you?
69 means to me.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, it means everything. It means the world to me. No, it's so funny. That was just like the first, like, because it's obviously a play off 98 degrees.
Totally.
And so I was just like, 69's a funny little number.
A little.
A funny little number, and then it just stuck. We were just like, yeah, that's it, 69.
How'd the band start? How do you know that you're two other people, right?
Yes,
it's
that's
three of you.
Miss Lestrange and Charlie Woe. I'd worked with them both because I'm a drag thing, so I might be a king one day, might be a queen, and then we had just known each other, and we really adore each other, and I love to work with people that I really adore, and we were just like, it was a drag king band competition. There we go.
Do you sing or do you play instruments in the band, or in general?
It's more of like we're like a, like early 2000s. Like we did some singing actually. We covered, which we're doing a little reunion tour soon. We covered The Call by Backstreet Boys.
Word.
Yes, and we all sang. We actually wrote our own verses. But maybe we'll get to instruments, but we'll have to see. Maybe someone will play the triangle. Yeah.
A little cowbell.
A cowbell, some cowbell, triangle, tambourine. Yeah.
You're also, you've done Bitch Fest, right?
Yes.
What's your favorite week or theme from that competition? Wasn't that recent? That was this year, right?
Yeah, that was March.
Oh, so
Yes.
very recent.
I would say my favorite week, and I think the week where I was like, oh, this is definitely why I do this, was week 3. It was really challenging, and it really came together last minute because it was the collaboration with Zavaleta week, and it was so like, one of those themes that's so open-ended but also very limited. And we did a Mortal Kombat number, and definitely...
I have more on that later.
Oh, yes, and that is honestly one of my favorite numbers I've ever done because I made it personal, but also I got to make fun of Zavaleta and she was here for it, so yeah.
You're no stranger to a ton of competitions. I feel like your name pops up the most, like when I see who's doing a new competition, I'm like, yes, Box is out there doing the damn thing.
I'm doing it.
What's been your favorite competition or your most memorable / rewarding?
Sure. Honestly, I would say either Bitch Fest or one I'm currently in called Pantheon, just because I really like long-term competitions where I can just, if I like falter one week or if I get something out of it the other week, like you just keep going. And I feel like I've seen the most growth out of myself, whether it be makeup, outfits, or just like general performance things.
Also, it's kind of like temporary, like weekly, you know what I mean? Like you can really go and challenge yourself and always better your makeup and all those things. It's nice to have that thing so consistent in your schedule.
And I've also developed so much community. Like I have such a tight bond with my group from March Bitch Fest. I also have just such a close-knit bond with all my peers from Pantheon. Like you just get to see the same people like week and week again, and you're just like, oh.
It's also really exciting to see your friends like grow and get better too.
100%.
Oh, it's so rewarding.
Exactly.
Yeah. What advice do you have for someone who's trying to get into a bar competition or who might be afraid to get into something long form like that or anything like that?
I would say go into it and just live in it 1 week at a time of just like what you get out of it. Take what you get out of it, because in competitions people will tell you, and also take any advice that you get from anyone. Or just decide to take what advice you want to get from anyone, but definitely just find something that will allow you to grow, whether it's long-term or just a one-off competition, and take that and run with it. Because if you focus on why you didn't win or why you lost or what you could have done better, it's really easy to get in your head, and it's easier said than done. But I think just keep going and on to the next competition. At least that's my thing.
I remember the first time I had heard your name a couple times before. I think it was around when you first started doing drag.
Yeah.
I judged that week of Polish that you were competing in.
Oh, that was, oh my gosh.
And you came in second. We really were torn. It was between you and oh my god, I can't remember.
It was it was me, Angel Owl, and one other person. I can't remember.
But the other person won.
Yes.
And we made sure to go out of our way to be like, Boxa, you did an amazing job.
Yes, I remember
do not
that.
feel bad because you did a great job and you were right there. What kind of advice? What was your favorite number that you've done from any competition that you've done?
Oh, from any competition, I would say, that's tough. Well, first of all, also I want to say I do remember that moment of like us being in the Playhouse bathroom and it was Daria and one other person.
I did, unfortunately, towards the end of that, get very intoxicated. But I do remember being like, you were so good. I remember that interaction.
2 or 3 in the morning after a Polish the Queen. We're all
100%.
slightly intoxicated. I would say my favorite number actually also came from, I have a lot of favorites from Pantheon, but I would say just recently, besides the Mortal Kombat number, I did a number week 2 and it was called Hometown. And I want it to be kind of ambiguous because I love my numbers to be able to like relate to people, and not make it be like, this is my perspective, you have to understand it.
Totally. Yeah.
And it was a number about the like how conservative my hometown was, and I basically finally brought my name into a number for the first time, and I allowed people to draw on me with crayons, and I have, not only do I have the like boards with the all people's signatures, but just the pictures of like all of my friends surrounding me and supporting me are like some of my, I look back at those pictures like every few days because I'm just like,
what's gonna get me up in the morning? And you look at this.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, my friends. Yeah, cool. All right, we're good.
Who are some of your favorite people to work with in drag?
Some of my favorite people. Oh gosh. Well, I could say one of the shows I look forward to. It's one of the. I have 2 monthly shows. I do a show with Ruby Roo and Brita Filter. Sometimes it's Victoria Holiday. Any of those 3, I adore them. We have the most fun, especially when we do the roulette at the end. Like, we are just so goofy, and it's just like, I can't believe I'm getting paid to be as ridiculous as we are. I also really love my drag grandparents. Ruby Roo is my drag mom, but my drag grandparents, Mocha and Misty Meaner, I love working with them because it's just like at the end of every show, it's like, I love you, and they're like, no, I love you, you're so great, no, you're so great. So yeah.
I know you talked a little bit about you're an art teacher outside of drag, right?
Yes.
You've always, and I've seen your posts on your non-drag Instagram about your art posts. Have you always done art, or you kind of like had to teach yourself, or you've just always naturally had that talent?
I think, well, I always have drawn since I was a kid. I would definitely say I went to the Academy of YouTube, and also just like watching a lot of art. I definitely took some art classes, but I'm very stubborn. I'm like, you can't teach me you can't tell me how to be an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say just I practiced a lot as like, I'm very inspired by like cartoons that I grew up with and anime, and just would always be like, oh, I want to draw that. And I used to have like, my room would be like covered in like Post-its, or I even drew on my wall, much to my mother's distaste. She'd be like, what's this? Like, she would move a chair and she'd be like, what's that? And I'm like, I don't know.
I didn't do it.
The art fairy came in. It was crazy.
What's been your favorite thing you've drawn?
I just really love portraits, I think. Oh, I actually, 2020, I did a Pride series where I did, for each day, I drew somebody who I really admire in the LGBTQIA plus scene, whether it's people locally in New York or just in the world in pop culture, and I tried to assemble it into like a Progress Pride color scheme, so I think that's one of my favorite things I've done.
You came out as trans last year, right?
Yes, publicly last year, but I came out to friends and family, I think 2021, like spring 2021, yeah.
How has that kind of shifted your outlook on life and navigating community, queer community in general?
For sure. I mean, when I moved to New York, which was before I came out publicly, I was definitely like, I never had to like hide that aspect of myself. I would say, because that was more of a post for like my extended family and just like the, you know, back home, like Connecticut, because
Yeah.
it definitely is still very sensitive subject. Like I literally went to, had gone to work shortly after coming out in Connecticut, and they had just banned pride flags from being hung in like government buildings.
Yeah.
So I would say it was definitely like I wish I still wasn't as like hesitant as I am about like being so openly myself like back home, but it definitely was a reassurance from so many people I hadn't talked to and like from like high school who reached out and were just like either people who haven't come out yet that like were really inspired, or just people who just wanted to say that they appreciate me. So it's definitely very freeing, but I think in a few years I'll hopefully be a bit more lax about it, but so yeah.
Who are some of your trans idols? Who has like inspired you to take that step?
I mean, I think definitely just because it was around the time that I was like figuring it out. Like pop culture idols, I would say for sure. I mean, like Gottmik and Elliot Page for sure, just because they both came out around the time I was like figuring stuff out, and to see them both so like
You're like, oh, I could do that.
yeah, I'm like, oh wait, that's what I'm going for. Oh, okay, cool. And also especially Gottmik with the drag thing too, because like I have gotten over that now, but for the first like year of my drag career, just always felt like I didn't belong. Like I had to prove why I can be in queer spaces.
Right.
And I think
it was a
that's
very
just,
in between. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just because of just growing up, like you feel like, oh, you have to be this in this category of queerness to like fit into drag or queer spaces. But obviously that's so much more broad now. But I think honestly a lot of my idols in the trans community are just a lot of the people I work with.
Yes.
Like those have allowed me to feel just like so much more in my
Seeing
skin.
like up close them thriving, or like, me too, I can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like the trans mask and the drag king scene in New York City is just like very much part of that.
What advice do you have for any trans people who might be nervous to take that first step in their transition? Whatever that first step means to them.
Yeah, I would say the thing that helped me the most was I had two trans friends. Granted, they're more on the trans femme side, but like just anybody of trans experience, just like talk to them. Also, there's so many online, like I like truly like the Trevor Project. Like I went online and I was like, I would go on like the hotlines and like I'd be like, I think I'm trans.
Yeah.
I don't know, or just forums and just like your validation can come in any way you need as well. Like that doesn't mean you have to bind, you have to hack, you have to get gender affirming surgery.
Right.
But I think just having a dialogue is really important.
What is your favorite style of dance?
Ooh, favorite style of dance? I would say I really love like contemporary and lyrical. That's where I really I don't know. What is it?
Business, baby.
Oh wait.
Fitting.
No.
You have room for one more?
Yeah, I'm like, is there room
on
in
the
that
school
bus?
bus?
Oh, there's an expo. Oh, in June. Perfect.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. Can you repeat the question?
Let me remember it first. Favorite style of dance?
Favorite style of dance.
You said contemporary.
Yes,
obviously.
contemporary lyrical. Because I had like also a really great contemporary lyrical teacher who it was just about like understanding your body and feeling yourself. And I feel like that's what's inspired me a lot. Inspires a lot of my movement in drag as well.
So I saw you recently did a Mortal Kombat number, which you have mentioned. Who is your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
That's so tough. I would say Well, I mean, the outfit I went for was very, because I wanted it to be very Katana versus Melina for the number. So I would say, I just like blue more, so I'll say Katana, but I do love that, like,
Melina with the mouth.
Melina with the mouth, yeah.
Eating men's souls. Like,
yeah, for sure. But I always, like, loved the grace and, like, fluidity of Katana's movements.
Do you have a favorite Mortal Kombat game? Did you ever play the games?
More than just like, well, I played obviously like the first few, and then like recently they've had like the 3D like super graphic ones, which I haven't played.
11 and with all the
Yeah, I haven't played. I've like watched them, or I've totally like went on YouTube and been like, all Mortal Kombat fatalities.
Stop.
Literally
like, same.
I just want to see what they're doing. Like,
Literally
what are they
same.
up to these days?
We're like, how much has Melina's fatality changed over the years?
Yes.
Like me and Google.
And like, how can they find more ridiculous ways to die and pull out their spine? So
That's
yeah.
What has been the last makeup product you've gagged over?
Oh, the NYX liner, the
Epic line, the black.
Epic liner, yeah, especially the one
It's
that
really
comes
good.
with the little paintbrush. I literally feel like I'm actually painting my face, and it's totally like the most long-lasting liner for sure. Not a sponsor.
I've known you've created a few looks. Do you know how to sew, or are you kind of
Loosely, like I've known how to hand sew since I was a kid. I have a love-hate relationship with the sewing machine, mostly because my first sewing machine, it needs work. It doesn't have all the pieces, so it can do the job, but I'm working on getting there. I'm working on the sewing.
Let's sew together sometime. Come over.
Yes.
We'll get it together.
Yes.
What's your favorite holiday?
My birthday. No, I would say Halloween. I feel like Halloween is actually, it used to be Halloween, but it's lost sort of its charm because of drag, I feel like.
Yeah. Totally.
I would say Thanksgiving, because there's no like expectations to like celebrate anyone or give gifts. It's just everyone eats
We're just
and
eating.
we bring food and we get drunk. It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
What's your dream job?
Ooh, dream job. I would like, I think it's sort of changed because like I've always wanted to be doing art in some way, like whether it's educating or pursuing freelance. But like now with drag becoming so much more part of my life, I would say I would love to just like put on a like be able to produce my own like big like high production show with like some of my favorite performers in the scene. So to like have to do that, I guess, like like very Sasha Velour-esque like nightgowns kind of situation.
Yeah, you've talked about working with other drag performers in the scene. Who do you think is the most up and coming right now, kind of in your generation of drag?
Ooh.
Other than you, obviously.
Other than me. Honestly, a lot. Like I was very fortunate to sort of, I came from this group where we all started at a show, an open set show at Metropolitan called Mad Mondays.
Right.
And I was very fortunate to be a part of the group. It was me, Miss Mamshi, Persephone, Athena, who else? I would honestly say, I mean, obviously, Miss Mamshi has been on the up and up, but honestly, Athena is one of my favorite people to watch. The thing is, there's just so many. I don't know, it's hard.
Musicals or plays?
Musicals or plays? It's hard. I would say musicals, but like,
Yeah, I've seen you do a little time step. Time step, a little time.
I think because I grew up in musicals, but I do love a good play.
You have a current favorite musical or a last you've seen that you really liked?
Actually, one that I really, really enjoyed that didn't run for very long, I saw right out of high school, was Groundhog Day.
Cool.
Great, really good music, and the staging of that to do like every day the same over and over was very cool to see.
What is Boxa's goal this year?
Boxa's goal, I would say, I do want to try to produce like a small show somewhere. I do want to dip my toe into that. And I think to just continue the growth. I would like to, I feel like I've worked on my makeup a lot. I definitely want to expand my wardrobe and have like more looks than just like 3 of like, I feel really good.
Yeah,
in
totally,
these.
totally.
Yeah.
Where can we find you this Pride season?
So far, I've gotten a few.
Any upcoming projects?
I actually am
You can
I mean, definitely, I'll be at Pieces per usual. I'll be at Metropolitan. I've got just a handful of brunches and stuff. The one I'm most excited about is I will be performing paid this time around in my hometown for their second Pride ever. I was in it last year, and I saw they were having their first Pride event. And I begged them to put me in it because I was like, I know you don't have drag performers, so like put me in it. Yep. Yeah. And they asked me back this year, and I'm really excited to because especially I met a lot of like kids that came up to me and were like, I've never seen this, or I've only seen this on YouTube and TV, and seeing it in person, never thought they'd be able to.
If you could say one thing to those kids, what would it be?
I would say nothing is stopping you from either trying drag or being yourself, and it may feel like it because of like where you're growing up, and the older people around you telling you that, but if you have an instinct in you, follow that.
And one last question for you. Where can we follow you?
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram at boxa.crayonz with a Z. And I'm honestly not on Twitter because that shit seems so toxic.
It's too much. Everything's too toxic. Yeah, I hate all social media.
Yeah, I'm like, I can only do one. Even Facebook, I get in and there's like 16 ads and like random like tips with hot glue, and I'm like, I can't. Too much.
I love like the have you seen like the Facebook hack videos of like how to make your sandals like really fun, and it's just like insane thing. It's
like,
so
do you
fun.
have like 100 straws you can turn into a pair of flip-flops?
Literally.
I'm
like, what?
I'm like, no, I should just buy flip-flops.
That's my favorite part of social media, if I'm being honest. But
I do love indulging in them. They're a little crazy, but yeah.
thanks so much for being here.
Thanks
for meeting me, and thank you for doing this interview.
Yeah.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy June. Have fun.
Happy June.
Bye, everybody.